Hey everyone, this is Tom from VermiBag. And it's been 2 weeks since I fed the VermiBag Max and the VermiBag Mini. Like I had said before, it was getting a little bit cold and things were really slowing down, so I started putting a seedling warmer in there, and it really worked really well. Put in one for one day and stick it into the other one the next day and stuff, but I was pretty impressed. I mean, it really kept it warm. It did dry it out a little bit, so I ended up putting a little bit more thickness between the heating pad and the top of the bag. So I put down like 2 pieces of cardboard and then put the heating pad on top of that, and then a piece of newspaper so on the top just to keep the heat in. So I'm sure that all the food is gone in these. Again, it's been 2 weeks now. So I'm going to go ahead and probably feed these a little bit heavier today and kind of start ramping these up on the amount of feeding and stuff that I'm giving them. Let's take a look at the food I'm going to give them today. So this is what I'm going to feed the system today. I have 4 pounds of scraps for each system, and then I'm going to put in 2.5 pounds of bedding along with each of those. So right at 6.5 pounds of material in each of the systems. Let's take a look inside the systems and see how they look now. They should be pretty good after 2 weeks. Take a look at the Max first. So you can see the worms are right underneath the surface here again. And this material is actually getting well worked over. If you remember last time we looked at it, I mean, it was a lot more paper per se. But this is definitely a fair amount of castings now. Moisture level is, absolutely perfect. I mean, it won't hold together at all, but it's really moist. The worms look really good. I can feel when I go to the very center of the bag, it's a little bit warmer. I mean, tiny little bit. But the worms are definitely hanging out towards the center. So it's probably, 5 degrees warmer, I suppose, here towards the center. But as soon as I put this feeding in here, it's definitely going to warm things up. But everything looks really, really good. Looks like it's a chunk of the stalk from a squash or something that will take a while to decompose. But yeah, the material there looks really nice. So let's take a look at the Mini. Go ahead and unzip the Mini. And the same thing here. I can see an awful lot of just paper thin skins from the squash that was in here before. The very center of this, slightly dry right at the surface, I think because the heat pad was in this one up until yesterday. So I think it tends to kind of dry out just the top section. What I have found is it's best to put several layers underneath it. I ended up putting 2 layers of cardboard underneath the heating pad and then just one on top of it. It gets a little bit warmer than I want if you don't put enough insulation between the heating pad and the material. But again, I think it worked really nice. This material is, again, well worked over. The worms look really good. The moisture content's excellent. Yeah. So we're going to feed this thing up. Give it a lot more material. Looking to see how many. I see a few juvenile worms now, small ones. So I'm starting to think that maybe we have some cocoons hatching finally, and the population can start increasing in this system. So let's grab the material and put material in each of the systems, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, here's the scraps in the Max. I'll go ahead and spread them out. You can see there's about 4 inches, 3.5 inches of material here when I got them in a big pile. I'm going to spread them out all the way around. A lot of oranges, broccoli, squash, banana peels, a little mixture of everything. So, and I put my standard, about 2 big handfuls of shredded paper and cardboard on the bottom. Now for the mini, I mean, this is a huge pile. I mean, this takes up the whole bag. I'm going to end up with a thick layer over the entire bag on this. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to grab the first container I have. Just mix the bedding in a little bit with a lot of this material. Try and keep these oranges buried for they don't get moldy on me. And put the bedding material in the mini. Same thing. Mix it up a little bit. Again, mix the material in with the bedding for you. At least slow down the decomposition process where it doesn't heat up quite so much. And again, I like to bury any oranges because they tend to get heavy-duty mold on them sometimes. So I don't want them sitting on top. Okay, so that's it. We got the mini set up, it's looking good, and the max set up. So I may take a look at it midweek to see how warm it's getting, but we'll update you on the total progress of this next week. So this is Tom from VermiBag. Till next week, ciao.